Hi, it's Mrs. Pope, and today we're going to be talking about factoring. We keep hearing about this factoring, and today we're talking about factoring ax plus by plus c is equal to 0, where a is always equal to 1. So every time we do these, a is always going to be equal to 1, so you will not see a coefficient in front of x squared. We just understand that it's 1. The goal is to find two numbers that when you multiply those two numbers, you get the product of what you would get if you multiplied a times c. We'll look at this example in a minute. And those same two numbers, you need two magic numbers. When you add those two numbers, you get b, the term in the middle. And those are your factors. So once you find those two numbers, those are the factors of this polynomial. What we're doing is unfoiling. You foiled when you had two binomials and you multiply them out in a common way that you've used called foiling. What we're doing is reversing that. We're unfoiling it. It's already in those. It's already expanded. We want to put it back into those factors, into two binomials. So for our first example, factor or unfoil x squared plus 5x plus 6. Well, here if we look at this, and it's not set equal to 0. That's okay. We're going to solve those later once we after we factor them. Today we're just going to be factoring these. So a is equal to 1. B is equal to 5, and C is equal to 6. So we can go ahead and put in equals 0, just so it looks exactly as this is. And now we know what A, B, and C are. So we want to find two numbers. When you multiply them, you get A times C. Well, A times C is 6. 1 times 6 is 6. So we want to multiply two numbers and get 6. And then those same two numbers we want to add and get 5. So multiplies to 6, adds to 5. And this is a little chart for you to keep track of your numbers that you're trying. So if we think of numbers, first thing off the top of your head, okay, what multiplies to 6? Well, 6 and 1. 6 times 1 is 6, that's true. But when you add 6 plus 1, you get 7. So no, that doesn't work. Let's try again. What other numbers multiply to 6? Well, 3 and 2. If you multiply 3 times 2, you get 6. If you add 3 plus 2, you get 5. Yes. Those are the correct factors, 3 and 2. So the way we would write them, x plus 3, because there's a positive 3, and x plus 2 is equal to 0. So if you want to check your work, that's all we're doing today. We're just factoring. That's it. If you want to check your work, which you should try foiling them, and you should end up with the original equation that we started with here. So here, if we check it, let's check x plus 3 times x plus 2. If you FOIL that out, first, remember, x squared outside plus 2x, inside plus 3x, and last, 3 times 2 plus 6. This ends up being x squared, combine your like terms, plus 5x plus 6. And in fact, you see, that is the exact same thing. X squared plus 5x plus 6 was the original one. When you checked your work, you got the same thing. So if you check it and get the same answer, you know you did it correctly. All right, let's look at some more examples. Example 2, we want to factor x squared minus 8x plus 12. I've already labeled what A, B, and C are. A is 1, B is negative 8, C is 12. And now we want to factor. So find numbers that multiply to 12 and add to negative 8. So you may be thinking, and you can try any one you want. The first thing that comes to my mind when I think of 12 is 3 and 4. Okay, 3 times 4, yes, it is 12, but 3 plus 4 is 7. So no, that's not going to work. Let's find some other ones. Maybe 6 and 2, but wait a minute. 6 times 2, yeah, that's 12, positive 12, but that's going to give me 8. No, that's not going to work. I need to add to a negative number. So now we're starting to think, these two positive numbers, if I add them, I'm not going to get a negative number. So maybe you've already figured out what it is, but let's see, if I made both of these negative, maybe that would help us out. So let's see, negative 6 times negative 2. Well, negative 6 times negative 2, that's indeed positive 12. Negative 6 plus negative 2 is negative 8. Yes, so we have our answers. So here, if we had them factored, we have x minus 6 times x minus 2. Those would be our factors. If it said equals to 0, you could have just put equals to 0. Same thing, we're not going to solve any further. But let's check. Don't forget to check. So see, if you FOIL this out, first, outside, inside, last, do you get the same answer? X times x, x squared. X times minus 2, minus 2x. Minus 6 times x, minus 6x. Minus 6 times minus 2, positive 12. X squared, combine your like terms, minus 8x plus 12. All right, we got the exact same thing as the beginning, so you know we did it correctly. You can always stop and do it again if you realize that you didn't get the same answer. You can always check your work. All right, let's see. I think we have a couple more examples. Example 3 and example 4. So example 3, and don't get distracted by this. This here, if you want to pause and write it down, this is what you're going to try on your own later. But that's not what we're going to be doing on this board. This is for you to try later. Example 3, let's factor here. Here's our A, B, and C. We want to multiply to negative 15. Pay attention, because negative 15 times 1 is negative 15, and adds to 14. So think of numbers that multiply to negative 15. Well, negative 3 and 5 do, but that's only going to add to 2. Doesn't work. What other numbers multiply to 15? Well, 15 and 1, so 15 and negative 1. 15 times negative 1 is negative 15. 15 plus negative 1 is 15 minus 1, which is actually 14, yes. So you may not get it on the second try. It may take you a few more. That's okay. As long as you get to the final answer, it's all good. So let's go ahead and write out our factors. X plus 15, x minus 1. So x plus 15, x minus 1, those are our factors. It's indeed been factored. You can go ahead and check that on your own and see if you FOIL it out. You should get the exact same answer here. Last one to try. What multiplies? Here's x squared plus 12y plus 27. Here's A, B, and C. We want to find numbers that multiply to 27, because that's 27 times 1, and adds to 12. Numbers that multiply to 27, well, 27 and 1 do, but that's 28. Now, what else multiplies to 27? 9 and 3. So 9 and 3, when we multiply those, we get 12. Yes, we found the right factors. So therefore, to factor this out would be x plus 9, x plus 3. FOIL it and check your work. Here are 3 of these problems I'd like for you to try on your own and bring them in factored in this form, and then we can check them tomorrow. Thank you. Remember, you are responsible for your own learning.